Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm trying to explain a lot of the punch downs for a 551B Western Electric KSU. These punch downs are going to be pretty relative on a lot of these shoebox KSUs, and the terminology is pretty much the same in a lot of different Western Electric and ITT systems. So left side is pretty much going to phones. This side is pretty much coming from line cards or the power supply or the circuit interrupter. To start off, we have tip and ring. So each line for a 1A2 phone system has 6 wires. You have tip and ring, A and AI, LG, and L. So tip and ring are pretty self-explanatory for any phone related circuitry. Tip and ring are the audio phone line pretty much. A and AI. A is a return feed from the phone, and AI is shorted to ground. So AI goes to the phone, and when a button is pressed on the phone, it shorts A and AI together to activate the line card. Then LG and L. LG and AI are shorted together as well, and L is 10 volts AC. So, and also in a lot of ITT phones, the lamp ground will be shorted across all of the lines. So you just have to be careful about that if you have different circuits, or if you're trying to hook up like a hold light or anything else like that. So then down the line you have line 2, tip and ring, A and AI, LGL. Line 3, tip, ring, AI, LG, and L. And then line 4, same thing. For me, I have a 1A2 card dialer that's a rotary version. The rotary card dialers actually have an 18 volt hookup in the cord, which is violet orange. So that's the pair that needs 18 volts AC in order to run the card dial motor. And this row in my KSU was a spare row. So this side here is hooked up to the 18 volts power from the power supply, which I'll get to next. Then you have B1R1. B1 is shorted to ring ground, and then R1 is whatever you put on this one, and once it goes through the circuit interrupter. So B1 always has power from the ring ground over here. Those two are shorted together. But the R1, whenever a line card is activated from an incoming call, and then the circuit interrupter starts running, whatever voltage you have on here, it can be a ringing voltage for running a ringer, or it can also be 10 volts AC or 18 volts AC for running a buzzer. And you have to be careful if you're mixing up those voltages at all, because some phones, they can wire a buzzer on a slate yellow pair, which is the normal buzzer pair. Slate yellow is usually the ringer, and I've usually wired green yellow as the buzzer. But some phones also will have orange yellow as a buzzer, and on 10 button phones they have a completely different pair out. So most of these explanations are for a 2565 or 2564. So hopefully that explains the B1R1s. These are line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Also on here, once you get below this row that was a spare, these are all cut in half. So these 3 on this side are one thing, these 3 on this side are actually blank. So then you have CA. I haven't used these hookups as much, but CA is basically ring pairing. So if you had phone, these could basically be phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, phone 4, because these are just the output ringing from the line cards, but you could have whatever phones you want to ring off of that. And then the CA terminals, if you pair these two together, whichever phones are on line 1 or line 2 will both ring when either card 1 or card 2 are activated. So that's what the CA does, is it couples the incoming ring signal so that the multiple phones will ring off of that. Then you have these 4, which are empty on mine. So these 3 here could be spares for an intercom or whatever you need it to. For mine, I actually put in a smaller punch down block for an intercom because there wasn't enough room here. Then here is tip and ring, tip and ring, tip and ring, tip and ring. These are the actual incoming phone lines. So you just hook up this one for line 1, this one for line 2, this one for line 3, and that one for line 4. I don't have all the colors different for my incoming phone lines, but these are pretty straightforward. You just hook these up to your phone line. And then on this side, going down, these I had rigged up for buzzers and stuff for my intercom, but currently I have them all removed. Then here I have music on hold. Music on hold is a really interesting topic as it's kind of lost in a lot of schematics and a lot of people don't even wire it up. How music on hold works for these KSUs, number 1, you need a line card that's able to run music on hold. For instance, a lot of 400D key telephone units will not even have a pin available for music on hold. Just go ahead and pull it out quick. So if you see pin 3 that's up here and pin 18, which is the last one, those are the 2 wires that are normally music on hold. And for some KSUs, you might have a 401A intercom. The power input for those is pin 3 and 18. So my KSU, when I got it, card slot 4 was actually wired for a 401A intercom, even though when I received the unit, I did not actually have a 401A card to put in there. And so the music on hold wires are basically the blue-white wires, which are these 2, is card 1, and orange-white is card 2. There's also green-white that you can see here, which is card 3, and brown-white, which is card 4. I only have 2 cards that work music on hold, so I only had those 2 hooked up. Then, as far as music input, you'll need a isolator. This was a pretty junky thing I developed, but you can get these pretty cheap on eBay or from a lot of different websites. These are 600 ohm, I believe, isolators, and you have an amplifier source. I just had it hooked up to an 8 ohm speaker amplifier output, and then each of these was line 1 and line 2 music on hold. I had them both coming from the same music source though. But you'll need a 600 ohm isolation so that you won't get a lot of back feed when you're actually talking to the person on the line, because you could actually hear music on hold being played. So hopefully that helps for anyone who's potentially trying to do music on hold. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. Then these are motor ground and motor battery. And the wires that are punched down here are coming from the power supply. The wires that come from the power supply all go to here. And then the wires that are output are also punched down here. And again, these are split in half here. So these are motor ground and motor battery, which is 10 volts AC, I believe. And that is for the circuit interrupter. Then you have lamp ground and lamp battery, which is 10 volts AC. And that is what is used for all of the lamps for the line cards. So basically that voltage is outputted to the line cards and then put to the phones. That's 10 volt AC. Then you have G and S. I'm not sure what those stand for, but those are 18 volt AC. As you can see, I have this wire going to the car dialer. And this is how the KSUs are wired up, and normally these are unused unless they use them for buzzers. Then you have GA, BA, GB, and GB. And those are 20 volts DC, which I unfortunately broke my fuses and haven't replaced them with proper ones yet. Basically 20 volt DC signal and 20 volt DC talk. So those are outputted here, and if you're using an MC9 or similar separate intercom interface in order to save space in the KSU like I did, you'll need to hook up to the GA, BA, and GB to actually get power. I can't remember off the top of my head which one though is signal and which one is talk voltage currently. And then, oh, okay, never mind, excuse me. So this is GABA, this is ground B, and battery B. So both of these, I think, are 20 volt DC signal, as I think the talk voltage is usually used less. So both of these are ground and both of these are battery from the 20 volt DC signal. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but either way, I know those are 20 volts DC. And then here you have the ring ground and ring battery. And those are really interesting because you can use a variety of different voltages on them. I've only ever used 10 volts AC to run buzzers. So you just pair a wire down and hook it up here, and then it'll be output on the B1R1s when that line card is triggered to ring. But you can also get a 115 volt output block that mounts right here in the KSU, which I recently purchased. So I'm planning on putting that in here so it'll actually have ringers when a line card rings. So hopefully this video helps some people know how to punch down the wires correctly in the different locations. I guess this video is more of a sort of a slight education for anyone who's not familiar with how these KSUs work. If you have any questions or comments about this, just let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thanks for watching this video, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel.